Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening again, people. How are we? Plenty going on, eh? Yes, Tommy Robinson's been released. Things to look at there, guys. The Liverpool tragedy. Liverpool was my soccer team, guys, in England. That's who I barracked for, you know. And then we had the Hillsborough fire, and then 2020 when we won the league, it was COVID stopped us, and now this time it's just been taken over again by another tragedy. So our thoughts and prayers go out to them people, guys. Another big failure in the rail again today, Barangaroo. There's been a train down for ages, people getting commuted around and whatever else. We went to the Communist Party's headquarters today down at Labor, and we'll have some clips of that tomorrow for you guys. But went to see Alison Burns Scully and Paul Scully with the people from down at Cully Bay, and didn't grab a great reception, obviously, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know how it is. Now, Trump, 150K or lower, and you don't pay no tax. That's coming in today, I heard. How brilliant's that? Pretty simple, isn't it? When your country's making money. Then we've got the Macron slap. And I thought it was a pretty puffy slap for a man or a father or whoever it is. You know, we are told that, you know, their father and son. This world is just crazy, isn't it? But anyway, I thought that was quite hilarious, guys, the old bitch slapping going on there. And then we got Albo, right? Who's Albo talking about? We won't let them down. Albo talks of the people in need. I wonder who he'd be talking about, guys. He's not talking about Australia. He's talking about Gaza. Now, do I agree that things need to? Yes. All right. But Albo, mate, look what you created here, you idiot. You know, we got to clean this mess up. And then to go along with it, Penny Wong, fourth house, 3.4 million, guys. Got another one. How's it work? Oh, here we go. How's it work? How is that work? Fourth house. Anyway, you people aren't cranky as what I am, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I'm not real happy, I can tell you. Righto, while Caz is still in the background there, I'll just rip through a few things. So New South Wales getting hundreds of more EV fast chargers, guys. Now, what's happening here? It's going to cost you 25 grand more on your your average Hilux 4-wheel drive or whatever. This is what they're doing, guys. All right, so they want you in electric vehicles, and they're going to make sure that they force you there as quick as you can. So for anyone out there thinking about buying new vehicles, guys, think again. All right, it just ain't worth it. Just think again about it. All right, so this will really create havoc, guys. There's a push for police to be removed from mental health crisis responses. So the government has actually created the mental health crisis, but now it wants to take away, and I agree, this is not what the police were for. All right, but the police are right out of hand now, and, might as well have them looking after that than harassing us, eh? But that's the way it goes, yeah. Righto, so we've got biggest medical experiment on children. New South Wales doctors given the go-ahead to diagnose ADHD. Biggest medical experiment, guys. So in other words, they're going to start using drugs, whatever drugs they want, all right, on the kids. When they're already giving them this Ritalin and all this bullshit. So again, vaccinations are going down. They got something in the background, guys, ready to go. All right. Now, this is bullshit. Flu vaccine hesitation sends kids to emergency in droves. No. Well, what's sending the kids to emergency in droves is your food, your environment, all right, and the things you're doing to us. Okay, that's it. It's as simple as that. Think again, warning as tax cheats caught. Well, guess what? The only tax cheats are the people at the tax office. We know that. It's not about, we shouldn't be paying tax. All right, so they're punching out the new COVID strain, so get ready for it, right? They're doing it in Australia. They're now gone to the US, right? They're pushing it over there. We got new strains. Well, there isn't any strains because no one's ever been able to find any. Come on in, Caz, when you're ready, darling. Well, what a load of hogwash is going on out there, guys, to try and get you people back to indoctrinated and not you people, obviously.
How about this? Can you do a report and who, what, where, when, why, how, and just let us know what it is and how it goes tomorrow? It'd be awesome. And send it through to me. All right.
Good on you, Kev, yeah.
We got heaps of views. Okay, so look here. If you have a look here, guys, first of all, it's a fakie. Very tricky, this one to report. Very difficult. Okay. Could be somebody is maybe remotely attached to the government or something like that. I don't know. It's just guess. But it's very difficult to report it. But if you see it, try to report it. You actually have to go and type in Dave's whole thing. It defaults to share or something else when you actually just.
And I don't send out any friend requests, guys. And the reason is I'm on 5,000 on my personal page anyway. I can't have any more. So, yeah.
That's it. All right, so we got we got heaps of people still doing stuff, and we got like more and more, and the mainstream media is starting to sound like us, so it's even better. Here's the guys up at the Central Coast.
Central Coast serving as cease and desist to some of the pharmacies in the area. Doesn't take long. If you've got the time, just get in there and do it, guys. The information's great. Central Coast Cream Puffs here doing the Erina area. We're now at the Fountain Plaza, Erina, and we're serving the cease and desist. Quite well receptive here considering, and he was quite nice. So we're on to our next one now. Anything else?
We're going to the doctor's next door?
I think we're going to the doctor's surgery next door. Let's do it, guys.
Good work. All right, we also had Craig Vine around the traps, and he was visiting one of your favourite people, Dave.
I was with him.
G'day, how are you? Good, how are you? Is Paul in today? No. I've got some documents that I want him to see. I've also passed them on to Alison across the road too. Yep. What it is, Ryan Park sent me down here, or Ryan Park's secretary, it was on a different day, said to come and speak to you, to Paul and Alison, regarding COVID vaccine injury. Right. So a letter that was sent to Russell Broadbent, Member of Parliament, Monash, it's been ignored by Albanese. So we want that looked into further to try and have the vaccine stopped. So what I've got is, like, to deal with that, I've got the witness statement entails evidence documents, everything that you need to look into what I'm actually trying to tell you, like with the issues to the people being injured, everything from, you know, myocarditis, pericarditis, heart issues in general.
Okay.
Yes.
So and, these are the documents that you want Paul to look at? Do you need
yes.
a copy? So you want me to copy those? Or
you can, if you can have these, you can take these.
They are on our website,
that's
folks.
The Russell Broadbent one. That was the letter that went to Albanese. That's the one he's ignoring at the moment. That's got everything on it.
And we actually have event numbers where the police are actually giving us an event number. There's 3 of them now.
There's actually 4 event numbers for it. So the police know about this. Yeah, they actually know what's going on with it. And I'd also like to hand you the AMPS notice that we've been handing to the pharmacies to let them know that they're not covered by the government. The government's not going to cover them, which they think they're actually covered.
So what's your...
Go, guys. Good work. Good work. Good work.
So we were out and about today, guys. Yeah, they weren't real impressed with us turning up there and videoing again and doing whatever we do. You know what I mean? But we stood our ground and, you know, so, yeah, I'm going to be putting a call out, guys. There's a barbecue this Sunday. Lunchtime down at Cully Bay in Warrawong there. And we'd like to see a lot of people. We went out, the guys went out and got signatures from all around the area at Cully Bay, from the businesses, from the other people that live around there and housing, etc. Everyone signed their signature. We took a heap of signatures in with us to these guys, all right, to Scully and that. So a lot of good backing, guys. So we want to see a really big crowd come down there on the Sunday. We're supplying all the food and everything, all right. We've got that worked out, me and Mel and a few of the boys and that here. So we're going to supply the tucker. They got the Barbies, and we're heading down there to have a good time with them and get to know them. So that's next Sunday, guys. Would love to see anyone in Wollongong that can get there. Please get there. Let's make it a success. Let's show this council that we ain't putting up with their crap while Penny Wong is out buying a 4th house for $3.4 million, all right, and you want to throw people out on the street or put them in environments that they don't want to be in, and I don't blame them for wanting to be in there. The only housing they've given them, guys, is 3 very, very bad housing environments. All right, very, very bad. These guys feel safe where they are. So, yeah, we're going to stand and we're going to stand hard, guys. Thank you.
All right, yeah. So look, we have the while they are going hell for leather with the whole green stuff, we actually have a few wins. But Peter Credlin has done a pretty good job of covering the cost of the green energy.
To prop up foreign-owned solar farms through hidden charges on their power bills. Under the large-scale renewable energy target, consumers have paid some $659 million to the 50 largest solar farms in the nation, 72% of which are either entirely or partially foreign-owned. Joining me now to discuss is research fellow at the Institute of Public Affairs, Mia Schlitt. Well, the last time we talked about wind farms. And you said to me it's about 70% or so of these big wind farms that are foreign-owned and are hoovering up all of these subsidies. Well, it's just as bad when we get to solar farms.
That's exactly right, Peter. Last time we were here, I told you that Australians were being forced to pay over $1 billion on hidden charges on their electricity bills to prop up unreliable wind farms. Now, what the IPA has done is we've actually had a look at solar farms and we've found the problem is just as worse. So in 2024 alone, Australian electricity consumers were forced to pay $659 million to solar farms through hidden charges on their electricity bills. And as you've just mentioned, 72% of those are foreign owned. So while Australians are hurting, electricity bills are through the roof, they're being forced to pay subsidies to companies that aren't even based here in Australia.
And of course they make profit. That profit stays on the stock market of Stockholm or some other foreign country. What's interesting...
Now, we covered it yesterday as well, and that's this article here, and it's about so New South Wales to see the largest power price rises as default rates revealed. Now, so we've been told that if we introduce all of this solar and all of these wind farms, that they're green energy, but it's actually costing us more and more every year. Now, it says here that the prices will rise between 0.5% and 3.7%. I read an article today. This is an article by ABC News, and I read an article today, and they said it's going to rise by 10%.
Yep.
Look, Australians are
They're
already on
bringing it on, guys. They are bringing it on.
They are, but it's good because, and another thing that's attached to that is a smart meter, which, according to this report, they're going to be legalised in Queensland on the 1st of June.
Hey, good day, Australia, and especially my fellow Queenslanders. I had a very interesting discussion yesterday with the electricity ombudsman because I wanted to find out from AGL if they had installed a smart meter on my home. And he rang up to tell me that no, they haven't. However, then he warned me that on the 1st of June, legislation will come in to force every home in Queensland to have a smart meter installed. And you cannot deny it, because if you do not allow them to put one on, they will cut off your electricity. That's it. Now, does this sound like a benevolent government that's there to serve we the people? For me, this is the last straw. And I don't know about you, but I think it's time that we take action. And this Wednesday night, there is a big Zoom chat going on, and you can ask Tim Dwyer to join. His email address is tim@ourtrueaustralia.com.
Now, here's another influencer. We've interviewed him, and Mike Holt is his name, and he's with the Common Law Group, and he's even going on it. So it looks like the Tim's Zoom is going to be
It is huge at the moment, guys. He's had to open it up to, it's getting on towards 1,000 people. Great interest. That's unbelievable. That should make you guys feel very good, okay?
That's right.
We got 700 and something people at this present time interested to go or going to registered to go to that Zoom. Unbelievable, guys. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
And the thing is, too, what we've done is because we've pushed things so far and the government is pushing us so far, a lot of people are covering stuff that they might not necessarily cover, such as Alexantic.
Organisation, the World Health Organization that got almost everything about COVID wrong, by the way, masks, travel bans, you name it, they got it wrong. And now the world community, the World Health Assembly, of which Australia is a member nation, is signing up to an agreement which will lead the way for treaty obligations. Now, out of this government, we hear the usual guff about, this doesn't do anything to Australia. We are still in control of our own of our own destiny, which is true up until the point that the country...
Why sign it?
Well, correct. Why sign it in the first place? And, of course, then the process will simply be rubber-stamped through the Australian Parliament. That is just the normal way when we sign up to obligations. And then Australia will start making domestic laws, as we saw with the Biosecurity Act and the international health regulations during COVID, which stopped Australians from travelling unless they were injected. This is my view is we need to get out of the World Health Organization, full stop. That's what the Trump administration have done, and they've done it because the Trump administration's putting America first. This needs to be an Australia first agenda. If you went back into a different era and you said, I've got a deal for you, we're going to let unelected bureaucrats in a foreign country tell you how to run your pandemic. When a pandemic occurs, that's what it'll do. They'll be able to declare a pandemic, and what you do as your own sovereign nation at the time it happens, you would run from it from a mile. Why is this government going anywhere near this? We need to walk away from the World Health Organization.
Yes, we do.
Yep. We got to get ourselves out of it, guys, and you are the team that's going to do it. You are part of the team that's going to do it.
It's interesting, isn't it? But it's interesting who's speaking up. I think that this is a new one as well. And I know that he's always been kind of on our side, but he's been very careful with his words. But here he is now. He's not careful with his words.
He laid all the groundwork or opened the doors for the New World Order to start to take control of Australia. I said, and then to add insult to injury, Malcolm Fraser completed the job. He said to the World Banking Cartel, you're going to have Australia too. And that's when I started to realise that, wait a minute, this is not about compassion. Who makes the decision for a country to stop making its own fuel? as I was described in boardroom meetings, illiterate. I was a loose cannon, and I wasn't party faithful.
Your close encounter with politics seems to have revealed to you that politics is not about solving problems or making the country better.
No. The destruction of the Western society.
At whose
angry.
orders?
The people that Keating handed our banks to. And everyone goes, oh, mate, please, that's an old furphy, it's an old wives' tale. You go, have you read history?
Anyone know Angry? Yeah, anyone know Angry? Tell them to come on the show.
I actually know some people in the rock and roll industry that, my mate Kevin Borich would have Angry's number, so I'll get onto that for you guys to see if we can get him on, eh?
All right. So, look, punters.
Yeah, we did sell his soul promoting the jabs, but let's get him on the show if we can and have a chat to him about that.
Yeah, look, the thing is that, a lot of people were fooled. A lot of people who, I can't tell you how many people have said to me that, that they are fooled, that they're embarrassed by, being fooled. Yep. So, and even I wasn't sure, and I've been studying these guys. I had read the whole plan. I had read lockstep, so I knew what the plan was. But even I was just second guessing myself. I'm going, no, this looks real, especially when they're falling over in Wuhan and things like that. Punter's Paradise. Now, he's come out and he's done a pretty good thing about the campsites, Dave.
Morning, mate. Just checking your booking.
Booking? What do you mean? I paid $190 by entry to get in here.
Okay, but no campsite booking.
For what?
The campsite.
I was here a few months ago and it was free.
No, sir. Campsite booking is $54 now.
Since when?
Couple weeks. Now, since you don't have a booking, I'll have to issue you an infringement.
Hey, Scotland?
Yeah.
You have to pay for public campsites?
No, we have the right to roam, so we can literally camp anywhere we want for free.
Why?
What, pay to camp? No, we have the legal right to camp anywhere we want in nature for free, even private property.
Sweet.
Huh? Pay to camp? That's crazy. Oi, Finland. Yeah. This Aussie here has to pay to camp in a national park. What? For a public campsite? Yeah, that's ridiculous. We would never pay for that. Listen, I don't make the rules. I'm just told budgets are tight, and how are we even supposed to afford all these free campsites? Well, I mean, you could stop giving away $100 billion worth of your gas for free to Japanese and American gas corporations. Well, I suppose $100 billion would cover it. You could stop giving $249 million to the New South Wales Forestry Corporation to cut down your own trees. Yeah, I suppose that would also cover it. But I've still got to issue you a fine.
And it's true. But look, here's the thing is that, the Australian Institute has come out and they've said other countries tax their oil and gas industries. Australia's subsidies ours. While the gas boom in 2022, LNG companies made windfall gains of up to $40 billion.
Yep.
And Richard Dennis has made the comment that Australia is the second largest energy exporter in the world. But while the Saudis, Qataris, and Norwegians get rich when the world energy prices surge, we watch our power and petrol bills soar while our elected leaders pretend there is nothing they can do to help. And it's it's so true.
They're not leaders.
And they're just so over the... No, that's right. They're not. And but we're not even being represented, And look, they just can't help themselves. Like somebody sent me, and thank you for it, but I've lost it. Or I can't remember who sent it to me. The list of the new fines, and it's complete and utter extortion. It's like $1,000 if you're caught with your phone or something like that. It's unbelievable. But look, and they haven't stopped there. They're going after push bikes now. Have a look at this.
Dangerous and potentially deadly modified push bikes have been put on notice. Jack Ward tells us police are warning they'll have zero tolerance for offenders as they crack down on risky behaviour.
They have a need for speed.
We are F1 cars today.
And a spark of madness.
Oh,
These young people are racing down city streets and doing wheelies in the suburbs on the back of illegally modified bicycles.
It's a recipe for disaster.
They look like a normal bicycle, but they're a bicycle dressed up as a motorbike.
Videos are plastered across social media of their souped-up rides, exceeding speeds of more than 60 kilometres an hour.
Fitting, in some cases, up to 2,500 watts of motor to the rear wheel. The frames can snap, and we have seen them snap before.
The danger extends far beyond the rider. A 69-year-old Hastings man died just 2 weeks ago on the Mornington Peninsula when he was hit while crossing a road.
There's been fatal accidents which are horrific, and there's a life of grief associated with that.
E-bikes are legal in Victoria, but riders must obey the same laws as cyclists. Motors can't exceed 250 watts and it must cut out when the bike reaches 25 kilometres an hour. And that's why people are making their own, buying conversion kits online to give their push bikes a dangerous upgrade.
It goes from being an e-bike to a motorcycle in the eyes of the law.
You got a licence to do what? What you're doing.
Police will be dishing out fines accordingly.
You'll see police out on the roads targeting e-bike riders.
Look, I haven't got too much of a comment because, you know, if I was 40 years younger, I'd probably be wheeling them up the road too. But, yeah. Society can't. Society hasn't got the responsibility to deal with stuff like that, Caz. That's the problem, you know.
Look, I just think that, you know, it's just, everything's just so crazy, you know, and like, you know, you've got the whole, this whole thing as well, like with the banks, like this is just outrageous. This is Westpac Bank and they've now restricted bank accounts. Okay. So your payment and your account capabilities have been restricted. You need to provide your identification information. You have to identify yourself when you open a bank account. So, like, if this is their form of digital ID, this is what they're up to.
Yeah, this is what they're slipping you into it. Yeah.
Now, I actually have to look into it because I believe that St. George has actually been sold to come under Westpac. So they're probably going to do that to me. So I need to go and leave and find another bank place. So anyway, very annoying. But anyway.
I agree. Yeah, they should be targeting criminals. But,
well, even when they catch them, they get them out on bail.
Yeah, they just let them out. Yep, exactly right. Unbelievable what's going on.
You know, so and on that too as well, Stephen Shavira has done this little rant on multiculturalism. It's pretty interesting.
So yesterday, the Jacinta Allen government in Victoria banned the sort of the general purchase of machetes. There are exemptions for farmers and that kind of thing. But they were banned because of what is obviously ethnic crime that has been using these tools. And this is actually very interesting because it reminds me of a very interesting admission made by the New South Wales Premier, Chris Minns, recently. Here it is. Listen to this.
I recognise, and I've fully said from the beginning, that we don't have the same freedom of speech laws that they have in the United States. And the reason for that is that we want to hold together our multicultural community and have...
So that's interesting. He said the reason we don't have robust free speech laws like they have in the United States is because our society is too fragile to have it because we are multicultural. In other words, multiculturalism and freedom of speech are kind of at odds with one another. And that shouldn't surprise us because multiculturalism as an ideology tells us, and this is sort of from the Office of Multicultural Affairs, the Australian government, it tells us that Australia is an inclusive multicultural society from all people, from all backgrounds. Now, the problem with that is that not all backgrounds are necessarily compatible with sort of Australia's heritage, our institutions, our ways of thinking. So, for example, people from radical Islamic backgrounds are going to have a lot more trouble assimilating into Australia than those from, say, Anglo-Celtic or European backgrounds. And so what's going on in Australia is that socially we're becoming less harmonious because we've got a very, very irresponsible immigration system that's kind of just letting anyone and everyone into this country. And we're told here that, you know, Australians have a responsibility We have a responsibility to maintain our diverse and inclusive society. I would have thought that first and foremost we would have had a responsibility to maintain a harmonious and free society, not some sort of diverse and inclusive society. The problem is a multicultural approach to immigration says anyone from any background is welcome, but that doesn't lead to social harmony, it leads to social disharmony, which we've been experiencing lately. And so that means in order to deal with the disharmony, you have to get rid of the things that we were previously free to do in order to make sure that social tensions don't emerge into violence. So our speech becomes limited, and things like, being able to buy a tool like a machete becomes limited. Multiculturalism and freedom are really not compatible. And instead of cancelling freedom, we need to cancel multiculturalism.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah, well, the way they do it, he's dead set right. You know what I mean? But, multiculturalism should be, the people who are coming in here to do the right thing is us, them assimilating with us eating their foods and learning their culture. They're learning our culture and eating I wouldn't want to eat our food, but anyway, beside that, it's Aussie food. But yeah, this is what it used to be, immigration. All the wogs I grew up with, man, all right, in the 60s and 70s, they're still my great mates, and they were from everywhere, man. We had the Dutch, we had the Lebanese, we had Italians, we had Greeks, we had Spicks, we had the lot, mate, and we all got on harmoniously. This has all been by design from our government and the New World Order.
That's exactly right. Well, and the thing is too that historically, immigration can be a strength, absolutely. But when it's weaponized against you by massive numbers, especially during a housing crisis, it's just not.
Robert. Okay, Rob. Well, you and me must know each other, mate. Yeah, Jack's pool room. Well, there you go. Now, I used to go up there on a Yamaha 60. Matt used to come and pick me up. That's the guy I ended up doing motocross with in Suzuki, Australia. But when we were young, he'd pick me up on his 60. We'd go out to Jack's pool room, play the money machines, have a game of pool and that. He'd ride me back home to Woonona, and he lived at Russellvale. The guy ended up being number 2 or 3 in Australia in motocross, Why? Because we could do what we wanted to do back then, guys, but it was different. But, yeah, what a memory, eh? Jack's pool room. Jack Morgan, his name was. He was a great snooker player on the world circuit.
All right, so we've got this interesting story. A US private equity firm with strong ties to the Trump administration is poised to make an offer to buy Port Darwin from its Chinese owner in a test of Anthony Albanese's resolve to bring the port back under the Western control. Very interesting, and I've heard, I read also later on today that apparently Beijing has warned Albo that it would not be good for him to sell it. So.
Wow, that's a nice, that's a 5G chess move, isn't it?
It is interesting.
Let's
and then you have
that one. Yeah.
Well, you have this as well. I don't know what's going on in the UK, but Sky News it lost 70 pounds. 70 million pounds. So interesting. And then, of course, you've got Australians calling for ban on immigration or mass deportation. But they've also done this: explore how Melbourne can become a true 15-minute city for a more sustainable and accessible future. You know that thing, Dave, that they tell us no, we're conspiracy theorists and they're not going to do 15-minute cities.
Yeah,
instead, it's going to, and then it was. Then they changed it to smart cities. We're going to have smart cities. And now they're just basically done. They've won the election by a landslide, according to them. So they're just basically done with the narrative, and they're just coming out and saying 15-minute cities.
And then we overlap their maps with their smart city train network set up and where's been flooded out and burnt out. And we put it to them and they go, oh, no, use conspiracy theories. That's just like,
It's just crazy. They actually they just, I don't know, they're just everything it's just like they just continuously move the goalposts.
Yep.
So
and they do.
Now this story here, it's really concerning. So Australia has the highest rate of young people getting cancer in the world. Yes. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, it's like
It's
we got to
explosive,
wake
actually.
up, guys, because a lot of people are getting crook. All right, and they've got their little weapons that they're going to use against us too, guys. All right, we know that. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is a all-out assault on humanity. Okay.
We've had some few wins though. There's Aussie households. Oh no, here's the article. Sorry, here's the one where it says, well, it's 9.7%. So in New South Wales, okay, it's going to be 9.7%. So it's just under 10%. Okay, price increase, energy price increase. Like it's just outrageous. Like we shouldn't be paying anything, but we've had some wins here because you've got this situation where the Moonlight Range wind farm project exited in Queensland, and basically it was because it wasn't with regards to what the community wanted. So well done to them, and just goes to show that when we push back, we win.
Yeah, well, in the background, some of those companies don't want to take on the contracts anymore because of the money loss and stuff. You know what I mean? So there's other things going on too. So who knows why the government's going that way, but good on them for actually doing it. But now stop the solar panels and start and reinstate our bushland, and stop killing our koalas, our wildlife and everything else, because you're still on the same trajectory. Just because you're giving us that one, oh yeah, we won't do this, but you're still doing that and all that.
Yeah. That's it. You've also got this interesting story here, and I'm not really quite sure what to make of it yet, but there's a surge in voting errors in aged care hospitals, and it's under scrutiny. Now, it is a massive. So in Barowra, the informal rate amongst the 250 ballots collected was 64.5%.
What's going on there, right?
Well, yeah, no, sorry, it was 70%, but it soared by 64.5%. So what kind of stuff, were they just all voting for the wrong people? That's my question. Oh, just chuck this one out.
Yep, chuck that one out, chuck that one out.
Oh, look, a little mark on it. Oh, look, another mark.
But they got in, I told them that down at Scully's office today. I said, no one even voted for you and you got in. Come on, guys, wake up. Anyway.
Here's Frisco in training watching our show.
He will be holding a Zoom meeting on Wednesday the 28th at 9 p.m. South Australian time for
Unreal,
particularly influencers who is interested.
Isn't he beautiful?
Yeah.
And of course we have Tommy Robinson out.
If you come here, Tom. So I look taller. Oh my God, you look great. What's this? What is this great hairstyle you've now got?
I've had short back and side since year 8.
Excellent stuff. So Tommy, it's so great to see you. You've been incarcerated in this horrible place.
So Tommy Robinson is out.
With a hair.
Yes, lots of hair. And you also have Bridget McCall. Well, we think it's Bridget. Bitch slapping her husband.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
And also this interesting story about the TSA trap. Now people were complaining about the amount of time that it went to go through the TSA with the scanning, so you could actually apply and get basically a super pass. But here's the trap.
All right, now you posted on @RealKAHall that people who've signed up for the speedier passage through TSA have also waived a very important right. What have they signed away?
So when individuals enroll in TSA PreCheck or Global Entry, they actually sign a release granting the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI unrestricted, warrantless access to all their personal data. Health records, physical, mental, social media, communications, court history, anything they want, they have access indefinitely. And this sweeping surrender of privacy is in the fine print few people ever really read. So the people end up giving up their permanent rights, or their rights permanently, for the convenience of maybe a little bit faster time in line.
Mate, what do you say? People just need to wake up to what's going on because
Yeah, and also just Well, I mean, look, I'm not surprised, you know, but it's something to be aware of because obviously whatever happens in the States, obviously this has been something that's been in for a long time, and it takes a long time to unwind all of this stuff.
And I've heard
You know,
some horror stories of people going into the States, mate. Absolute horror stories. Just lately.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Actually, a bit of vengeance. You know, the infrastructure is still in place. Trump is battling the infrastructure, and we have got an absolutely similar problem because they built the infrastructure. And you can see that here. Like, here's a New Zealand policeman accosting somebody over a social media
Can you
post.
explain why you continue to post things online about the government?
What?
Hanging members of parliament, etc.
Well, what's wrong with that? It's my opinion.
Do you think that's appropriate to post those things online?
Well, you're a communist, treasonous government that are hell-bent trying to enslave us all.
Okay, that's your opinion. So how can we resolve this issue with you continuing to post stuff online? That's inappropriate.
You can't. It's the freedom of speech. You can't stop me from saying what I think is true.
When it does offend people.
Look, we'll leave it there. Obviously, you shouldn't have used, you know, hanging them and threats of violence. But the thing is that people are just basically fed up.
They are. Oh yeah, a lot of people are fed up. But you know, fed up means, you know, people react too. Okay, and we don't need reaction. All right, we need, you know, reaction in the right way. We don't need silly reaction, guys. And that's where they're trying to drive you to. All right. That's exactly what they want to do. We just got to keep it all cool, calm, and collected, and we move forward and we let them know that we got the numbers and you ain't pulling this shit.
That's right. Well, we do have the numbers because, you know, nobody voted for Labor. Still yet to meet a Labor voter. All right, look, we're being taken out. Brady Gunn did a good rant about how the government coming down on us is only serving its purpose in uniting us all. So I'm going to play that rant on the way out. Dave, if you would like to close the show.
Yeah, okay. So again, guys, I'd just like to emphasize again, because a few people come in, you're now watching the show. So next Sunday down at Cully Bay, guys, we are having a barbecue, all right? We would like to see people coming. Maybe just flick us an email or something and let us know if you're coming, guys, so we know how many people are coming, because it's a Sunday, and whether we can get more meat and stuff. So, but we want to make it big. We'll do the old, we'll do the pray over the baskets bit, like, you know, like they done back at the, when God was at the Sermon on the Mount, wasn't it? Yeah. But anyway, we'll have enough, guys, believe me. But next Sunday, we want to see as many people as we can down at Cully Bay for a social picnic for the people of the area. And that area, you know, goes everywhere, guys. That just extends out because it's all our land, okay? It's all public land, okay? We don't care what they're saying to us about what's going on. You fix the problem so people don't have to take up places like this and refuge to find a safe place as they are, and then we won't have the issue that you've got. Again, Paul Scully, we went to your office. I was trying to get your girl to get you on the show. She was walking to the back of the office shaking her head as if to say, Scully will never be on your show. No, that's right. He will never be on his show because he hasn't got the balls to come on. He hasn't even got the balls to have a meeting with these people. All right? He's not for the people at all. Okay, so, guys, a few emails need to go off. Just let Mr. Scully know that, you're not happy with his decision. So we'll see you there on Sunday, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow night. So have a great day, everyone. Night.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Who? World Health Organization? Fuck off. Who are these people? Did you hear? All of our world leaders are over there in Geneva passing the pandemic treaty, the service of selling our own freedom and bodies on behalf of us. Aren't they lovely? You know what? Who cares? Humanity will rise. Humanity will not comply. Nowhere near enough anyway. It's all very well for them to be over there talking about equity and global solidarity and all that wank talk that they talk about, but we're all looking at them. Most of the world is looking at them going, who are these people? They're walking down the garden path thinking that we're meant to do what they say and follow them. These people live on another planet. You can't lead no one. It's all very well to say that people need to do what you tell them they should and that you own everything, but At the end of the day, people have got to do it like Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan rode the lands and raped and pillaged and took lands and conquered, and then after he was finished he turned around and go, well, what are we going to do now? We don't have the ability to manage this, we can't run this empire, and everyone just wandered back in and took everything. Similar kind of thing happening right now. These pitiful, sad, removed, desperate people living in La La Land thinking that they can make decisions like that. You just can't. That's how far removed, and how desperate are they? All they've got is we're gonna control people and we're gonna control speech. Not let's lead humanity, not let's be good leaders. No, we're going to stop people talking. In this day and age, of each other in the palm of our hands, that's what they've got. And control. What? You've got to comply to this. And they've just united us, haven't they? Over and over again. Now the farmers are standing next to the anti-vaxxers, and the anti-vaxxers are standing next to the old anti-vaxxers, and people who've lost businesses and money are now standing with us. We're all standing on the same platform. The average Joe and Josephine all standing there looking at the same people. Even the greenies are realising that we're all greenies. Everyone wants to save the environment. We're all standing on the same platform looking at, it's just these lies. They've united us. Every single thing they do, and if you haven't seen them before, there's lots of videos like this. Every single thing they do just brings us together. And they want carnage. They're creating carnage. They're doing it on purpose. We all know that. They've got a head start, so a lot of that will be created, but just you've got to sit and watch and wait and do what we can. There's about to be a whole heap of Darwinian lemmings jump off their own Darwinian cliff, unfortunately, of all types, from right down to the people who unfortunately have been caught up in the fallout of those needles, right up to these world leaders who are just lying and lying and lying and digging deeper and deeper and deeper, who are eventually going to have nowhere to dig to, and the hole's going to start filling itself back in. So keep your cape on, freedom fighters. You keep that cape on. You keep that chin up. You special breed. A special breed that appeared 5 years ago and keep appearing every day. Lots of new freedom fighters with the ability to see lies and corruption when others can't, and see cold hard facts when other grown adults with the mentality of a dung beetle, to be fair, but can't see them. You couldn't cast a net over you guys except a bit of black sheep and a lot of intuition, so keep that black sheep sharpened, keep those street smarts and use that intuition. Anything could change at any time, and we can't save everyone. We've only ever defended. When you think about it, freedom fighters have never attacked anyone. All we've done is defended our right and ourselves and our country and our kids. Just keep defending. They'll bring themselves undone. And you've got to move your body. Go to stand in the park. You have to move your body. There has to be a visual face to this. Even if it was millions and millions, and there's thousands of parks, so thousands and thousands of people standing in parks all the time. But imagine there was millions and millions of people dressed in yellow in parks all over the world. It's in 35 countries or whatever it is. Even just little kids driving past and saying, who are all those yellow people in the park, mummy? So, that's the resistance. There has to be a visual face for this. You have to move your body with intention and stand as a line in the sand with other people. You can't just sit at home going, well, we've got to wake everybody up, and if everybody just wake up and we've got to sack all these people, who's going to take their place? You have to move your body. We have to empower each other by moving our bodies. We have to show that there's a resistance to little kids right up to people who are going to be leaders, and we have to support these new leaders. You have to move your body. You have to do something, and a stand in the park is the perfect thing for you to do. We've all been to big protests. We have millions of people at all these protests. It hasn't really changed anything, but a stand in the park has changed a lot. It's created massive friendship, massive support networks, massive information sharing. It's the first go-to. If any of these internet or power outages go down, you go straight down to a stand in the park. You have to embrace it. I'm not saying it just because I started it. A stand in the park works. You have to stand with intention. There's a few people I'm speaking to who are saying, I don't post on the community groups on Facebook or any of the socials anymore because there's just too many nut jobs they attack you. Who fucking gives a shit? There's kids dying. It's the future of humanity. There might be 5 people attack you on the comments. There's 100 people who are looking at that saying, well, at least somebody gets it, and they're not saying anything. They've never said anything to anyone. They've never been anywhere. They've never did. They're fully vaxxed, but they've seen there's a resistance. You've got to keep posting. Who cares if you get attacked? You've got to keep that freedom and keep that humanity too. Go to the arts. Go to the sports. Go to the pub for the trivia night. Get involved in the school. You got to exercise your freedom. Don't just sit and wait and say, well, we're all fucked, and not exercise your freedom. Freedom fighters don't have fat asses, and anything could happen. You can play eyes up footy. Anything could happen at any stage. Keep that black sheep, keep those street smarts, and keep that intuition, and know that you're a fucking champion. And I fucking love you for one. You're doing great. Not up to any of us in particular to save this. You've got to do it together, and you're doing your role. And so keep your chin up and know that you're loved. Anyway, love you, ain't shout.